hard because it's a case to case basis. Every single Democrat who's not there. It's not just like you can get them all at one time. You have to do one at a time. So it's very difficult. That's why they don't want to go that way. They want to threaten them. They want to, do all type of stuff. But it's very hard for the GOP to really get these people. Thank God.
Do you know how many people that have left the state? I heard they went to Illinois.
Well, some of them went. I think they have meetings in Illinois, Arizona, other places. But the thing I want to say to this too, because I know it's a little off topic, Mel, and to the caller. Listen, this is at the end of the day. We are all Americans. Even people trying to become American. I vote Democrat, but I do question very hard the people I vote for. I'm disgusted that there are people who voted for Trump that don't question his dealings. I love Obama. I question what he's done sometimes. I question Biden. I question Kamala Harris. As an American, it's our right to question people. So when you get this man at the White House saying, I need 5 seats, and it's illegal in Texas for them to do what they're doing, why are people not questioning that? That's the part that I'm having some difficulty with. We should be questioning our elected officials. We really should. Now, I've been researching about things that people can do. God help us if the people down there, the GOP, get what they want, because there's still things that can be done. And actually, I'm thinking about maybe I'm going to do a podcast. I never did one before, Mel, to the call. This thing got me so riled up that I'm thinking I have to scream to the mountaintops about what people can do legally, and that won't get people out there, cussing and fussing and all that kind of stuff. I don't want none of that. But there's some things that people can do because it's enough already. And because the idea is, for me, I think that if we don't have elections in this country, that's the death of America. I mean, we have to have a back and forth. We can't just have one people. I would never want Democrats to be in office covering everything for 20, 30 years. Like, no, I want it to be a back and forth. I need it. It's like life. It has to go back and forth. It can't just be one thing that kills the country, in my opinion. It really does. So it's insanity that these people want to, redistrict mid-decade, which is illegal in Texas. People can look it up. It is actually a law in Texas that Governor Abbott knew. He knew that what he was doing was illegal, but I don't know what kind of justification he used, but it's illegal down there.
Wow, thank you for that input. If you need help starting your podcast, I would be more than happy to help you, but you're always welcome to come back on the show. I'm on live pretty much every day, and I know we've been emailing each other, so it's nice to have you up for the first time. That's awesome. Before we move forward, I want to show this video. I know you have to go back to work, so let me see if I can get this played.
Well, I want to say too, thank you, Mel, and because I've been trying to get you to a friend. A friend of mine has a podcast, a show that she does political, and I've been wanting you to come over there to talk about this too, so we can talk in the email.
Just fill me in. I'll definitely show up. Just give me a time and date. I'm pretty free these days. All right.
I will sure enough do that. But you know what? I'm going to drop down, but I'm listening, and you know what? Listen, I keep up the good work to everybody, and everybody stay safe in these crazy times.
Yes, indeed. You've added so much to the show today, and I appreciate you, and I'm sure DJ Genesis does too. Thanks for that wealth of knowledge. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to now State Department of Public Safety to conduct civil arrests of Democrats who did not show up for this afternoon's special legislative session in the Texas State House. Now, this is all part of the fight for control of the U.S. House of Representatives in next year's midterm, and it's playing out in dramatic fashion.
Members, a quorum is not present. The roll has been called, and a quorum has not been established.
Dozens of Democratic Texas state representatives skipped that special session that began and then, as you saw, was quickly adjourned just about an hour ago, actually fleeing the state in an attempt to block a Trump-led partisan redrawing of the state's congressional map, a redrawing that could potentially give Republicans 5 more U.S. seats in the midterms. And in response to Texas Democrats breaking quorum and stopping official state house business, the remaining state lawmakers passed a motion to allow the state house speaker to issue civil warrants for representatives who did not attend the special session. Texas Governor Greg Abbott also threatening to remove any lawmaker who did not show up when the state house convened last hour. State law allows a district court to determine whether a public official has, quote, abandoned their office, though that could become quite a messy, drawn-out process. Now, breaking quorum itself is not a crime, but if state lawmakers had remained in Texas, Abbott could technically order state troops to haul them to the Capitol. So where exactly have all the Democrats gone? Well, many of them have fled to states led by Democratic governors, including Illinois and New York, as those states are now exploring options on retaliating by redrawing their congressional maps in favor of Democrats. All of this appears to be building toward a gerrymandering arms race. Let's go straight to CNN's Ed Lavandera. He's outside the Texas Capitol building in Austin. Ed, what are you hearing from Texas State House members given the session that just adjourned without enough Democrats for a quorum?
Well, they've been ordered to reconvene tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central Time, but it doesn't appear that the outcome tomorrow will be any different from what we saw today, and that after a few minutes, the House will quickly be forced to adjourn because there is not a quorum. From what we could tell, there were about 6 Democrats that did not break quorum. So of the 62 members, it appears about 56 have left the state, and that sent off a flurry of activity. The Speaker of the House immediately issuing the civil arrest warrants for those members, and shortly after that, the governor ordering DPS troopers to arrest these members and bring them back to the Capitol. But again, as you mentioned, these Democrats are in states like Illinois and New York, run by Democrats. That doesn't appear to be likely, but that increasing rhetoric of punishing the Democrats who have left the state seems to be something that we continue to hear from more and more Republican lawmakers here as they wait for Democrats to return. And Phil, we are in the middle of this 30-day special session, and there's about 2 weeks left of it. So Democrats would have to stay away that long, but in the end, it won't matter. Governor Greg Abbott could just simply call another session, and they have the votes to pass this redistricting bill. But what we've heard over and over from the Democrats who have left the state of Texas is that this is about ratcheting up pressure on Republicans, making it very difficult and painful as possible to pass this redistricting bill, and trying to spread the message across the country that they believe that the redistricting efforts here in Texas is a threat to democracy. We spoke with one of those lawmakers shortly after she touched down in New York last night.
Well, look, we saw that Republicans were not putting the priority of Texans before the priorities of Donald Trump. We had 8 or 9 hearings on these gerrymandered redistricting maps. We only had 2 hearings on flood recovery.
There are Republicans out there saying that you guys are cowards for leaving the state, that you're not doing your job. How do you respond to that?
I see it the other way around. I see it that my colleagues are the cowards. My colleagues were the cowards when they took Donald Trump's call and then voted all but 2 Republicans for his voucher scam. And then they were cowards again when they took another call from Donald Trump when he said, oh, we're just going to do a small change of the map, just 5 more seats.
So Phil, the question remains just how long are these Democrats willing to stay away from Texas to make this point on this redistricting bill? The last time they did this in 2021, it was nearly 40 days. It wasn't that long when it was last done in 2003, just under a week. But in both of those cases, ultimately, Republicans got what they were looking for in a change and the passing of a redistricting bill. Phil?
That's a great point. Ed Lavandera, great reporting as always. Thanks so much for joining me now. Democrat Texas State Representative Linda Garcia. She's one of the Democrats who left the state of Texas. She's currently in Chicago. And I'll pose the question that our great colleague down in Texas was just asking in terms of how long is this going to go? When you talk to your colleagues, what are you guys thinking right now in terms of timeline here?
Well, right now we are prepared to stay here for 2 weeks. Obviously, we have to see what the move is after those 2 weeks, but we are all prepared to fight.
What is your reaction to the governor ordering civil arrests for you and your colleagues who did not attend the session today?
That doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me at all. My constituents want me to take this quorum break. It is within our legal right. I was hired by the people in my district to do what is in their best interest, not what is in the best interest of Donald Trump and not what is in the best interest of Abbott.
To once again cite my very smart colleague, Ed Lavandera, who was speaking just before you, the outcome here, at least based on past precedent, seems to be pretty baked in. But the process that you guys are going through is clearly as much about garnering national attention, making sure people appreciate what's happening down there. I'm interested if you're concerned that this is turning into or could turn into a gerrymandering arms war of sorts, where Democratic states pursue the same exact thing that you're fighting right now down in Texas.
I think it's unfortunate that we have gotten to where we are today, but unfortunately, what Donald Trump and Greg Abbott are trying to do is unconstitutional in the state of Texas. And while I cannot control what happens in other states, I can only make sure that I am doing everything in my possibility here in my district for my constituents.
But would you like other states, particularly those with Democratic governors, to pursue a similar pathway, given kind of the scale of the fight that's started down in Texas?
I think those governors know what is best for their constituents and their state, and they will take appropriate actions.
One of the things
I don't want to just play it all the way too much, but I just want to speak in between it. But this is crazy what's going on here.
Yeah, it seems that they're gerrymandering to the third power, right?
Yes, and so what happened is that all of the ones that are in Illinois got together and they had a press briefing in Chicago, and this is one of the speeches that was given.
Okay, Rose and Gala says this stems from the tragedy of the flood, and Trump told Abbott to get 5 more rep seats. Okay, so Donald Trump is the man behind the hour. And Pep and Pep says they did it one other time during Biden administration. Okay, now one of the things I picked up in the video, thank you guys for all the comments we're going to try to get through. And one of the things I picked up is that now other states, Democratic states, are trying to follow the same method to get ahead of the curve. Is that true?
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like Chicago is doing the same thing, and yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, they said New York is doing the same thing as well. I think Mel that came on before, he mentioned that as well. Reggie says if the GOP wants to pass this bill of redistricting, there needs to be 2/3 majority. Okay, thank you for that comment. Woodsman's Farm says, this is all fake, like Russian collusion and all that nonsense. Okay, what do you think about that, DJ Genesis? You think it's all fake?
No, I don't think it's fake. I know for a fact that when you look at the actual group of people that are being kind of like redistrict, if you see there's a common thread amongst them, they're people of color, right? And then they're putting them against, like, making it that is not fake.
Yeah, Mashona says, why is it okay for them to leave town, but when Ted Cruz left town, they said he was neglecting his duties by going out of town? Okay, great point, Mashona. Solid. Mashona says they should still vote. We elected them to do a job. Okay. Hi, Lindsay. Okay, Reggie says this action has been done before, and trying to put a warrant on these folks is not going to work well for the Republicans. Okay, so he thinks that Reggie thinks there's going to be a backlash. What do you think, DJ? You think there's going to be some sort of, you're right in the state, you think there's going to be some ramifications?
I think definitely. When they hit that gavel, I think that they very much meant it. There might be some people that might end up in jail over it. Yes.
Okay. Knick-Knack says felons cannot vote. Mashona says, and Knick-Knack, thank you for your participation. Nice to have you here. Also, guys, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. We have close to 500 people here. We appreciate all of you, and we do this every day. So thank you. We cover the hottest news out there. And right now, this deal in Texas, Eric, who is one of the moderators on the channel, told me about this the other day and how it's such a big deal down in his state of Texas. So it's nice to cover this. It touches quite a few of the people that are involved with this channel. So we're going to keep eyes on this. Mashona says, yes, it's all over the news. We need to fully investigate for non-biased information, or at least that's my opinion. That's a great opinion, Mashona. We appreciate that.
Well, I think that when you redraw the districts, you have a certain group of people that got elected for that district, and then you redraw it. You're going to have people that are not aware of their district, of that specific area, because they're focused on their area. And so all the actual things that are important in that specific district and that these leaders are a part of, how that those things are going to really get taken care of if you don't have the right people in place. So it's really crazy to just for the sake of the midterm to to the election to just redraw the line and not think about the people and the people that they voted in. That's it's just politics and weird stuff. So
right, a lot of people that come through, they feel as though it's going to be a long time before we have another Democratic president, and this kind of builds into that narrative. What do you think?
Absolutely, I think that's what they're trying to really position themselves for.
Right.
I don't know why there's so much hate towards the Democrat, because I think that both parties have their own things that are that you could look at. That's I think that when we focus on Democrat versus Republican versus what are people doing in their district and in their section that they're working on, that's what we should be looking at. Not necessarily Democrat or Republican, but is that person actually doing what they're supposed to do? Why would you redraw the lines unless those people are not doing the job?
Right. I think at large, though, most humans want to be a part of a group. So people like having a label to say, hey, I'm blue, I'm red. It comes with the territory. I think a lot of it is human nature. So we get that. And so they don't want to really work together. They want to keep the hostility going. And this plays right into that narrative. M. Pep and Pep says, party in Illinois, y'all. Okay. Joshua Tilf says, lock them up. They broke the law and nobody's above the law, right? Democrats. Okay. Joshua also says it's not illegal. Okay. So we have quite a few comments. So, Genesis, as far as what do you think is going to happen next? You think that they're going to make it, they'll be true to their word about locking them up?
Absolutely. This is Texas. You know, they say come here on vacation, leave on probation. So the moment they step foot back and they get word, they're going to probably lock them up. I believe so, yes.
I think it's more from the video. It's more of a bringing them to vote rather than locking them up, right?
Well, a civil arrest. So what is a civil arrest? I need to look that up. A civil arrest, what does that mean? Do you go to jail or do you just get quarantined and told that, you know, you have to be here at this certain time? Like, or what is a civil arrest?
Yeah, I think they're trying to get them to, they're going to force their hand and make them vote, which may not be possible being that they have left. Joshua, let's see, Greg Coyote says, and also welcome back, Greg, says the Dems do it and nobody says a word. The Dems are finished. Okay. Mashona says, Joshua, you are right, but the only applies to Republicans, right? Because the Democrats are always right. That seems strange. Okay, Sharon.
But what about the redistricting? If they're saying that that's unconstitutional, why are we only just focused on whether they're Democrats or Republicans or not? What about the fact that this law is unconstitutional and illegal, and that's the reason why they left it, because that what they're doing is an illegal act? Are we only like focused on because they're Democrats?
Yeah, it goes by who has the cards, who has the power, and right now it's the Republicans. And they're having at it basically.
Yeah, it says warrants go out Wednesday, feds make an arrest on Thursday. So that means it's going to be federal. So I'm not sure if they even have to step foot in Texas. They could probably be federal. That means that they can find out where they are, wherever they are, and arrest them where they stand. Bring them back to Texas and go from there. So
now, in your day-to-day activity, do people locally seem to be concerned about this?
Absolutely.
Okay. When you're at Walmart or at the grocery store, people talking about it.
Yeah, you know, because like I said, when people voted for these people, so now you want to redraw the line and make it so that you have to vote. You have a you stand lesser chance of voting for the people that's going to be for your specific area and know about the situations in your area.
Right.
So,
it seems that the focus here is Donald Trump. Would you agree?
Absolutely. But he's the one that is calling in and calling the shots. So he's calling in and saying, hey, we should just we should do it. He's the one calling it. So yeah.
Right. It would be interesting to have Calvin Johnson come on and talk about it. I know he started talking about this a little bit on Sunday, but it seems that you guys have new developments when it comes to this, right?
Exactly. And look, Sergio was right. Why should they be forced to cheat?
Right.
Why should they be forced to force their hand to vote on a bill that's illegal?
Right. Well, thank you very much, DJ Genesis.
You want to hear like the speech right here from Jasmine real quick?
Okay, I didn't even see that. Go ahead and play it. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. I want to make sure that I make it clear who these people that are standing behind me are. Because I don't think that the American people truly understand the amount of sacrifice that these warriors and heroes are making right now. Most people don't understand that in the Texas House, you only get paid $7,000 as it is as a salary. But these people are saying, listen, we are going to do our job because we understand our oath, unlike those that serve on the federal level and are Republicans, as well as those that serve in our current Supreme Court and happen to have been appointed by Republicans, as well as those that serve in the Texas House right now and happen to be Republicans. These are people that understand what it is to be a representative. They understand their constituencies, and instead of trying to stomp on them, they want to do everything that they can to stomp for them. And so that's why they're here. Now, let me say, this governor talks a lot of noise, and I made sure that I put up my warrant from 4 years ago to make it plain that they talk a lot of noise, but these guys are weak. That's why they're over here trying to bully people. Bullies are always weak. The difference is they expect Democrats to kind of be the nice guys that we are. They expect us to take the punch and say, thank you. Well, I am here to tell you, not only are we going to punch back, but we're about to beat you down. We are going to win. I'm going to tell you why we're going to win, because people are tired. And as it's already been said, we got a few truth tellers that came before us. A number of them came out of Texas. So I need y'all to understand that maybe you haven't learned these amazing warriors' names, but you will know their names. Y'all know how the president feels about me. Got my training ground right there in Texas. We know that there was another amazing Black woman out of the state of Texas by the name of Barbara Jordan that had to check another corrupt president by the name of Nixon. So I'm here to tell you, just like I told a group of folk in Arizona yesterday, Frankie Beverly and May said it best. We are one. For everyone that's been asking, where are the Democrats? Well, here they are. For everyone that's been asking, where is the fight? Well, here it is. But let me tell you something. Don't leave them out on the ledge by themselves. They need to know that you, the American people, stand with them because they are standing for you. There's so many people that they will never meet, but they understand the importance of making sure that they have a voice when it comes to their government. They understand the importance of standing for what democracy is and making sure that it does not fall by the wayside. They understand that we have a Timmu Hitler in the White House right now that thinks that he is going to become the dictator of the United States. Well, I got another thing to tell you, sir. The Democrats, no matter whether we're talking about these Texas House Democrats, or whether we're talking about the governor from Illinois, the governor from California, or whether we're talking about New York, or I can go through the states, and it's not just the governors. It is the state houses. It is the state senators. It is those congressional delegations that are saying,
can you pause
do what
that?
you got to do, and I will fight, and I will win, and I will earn my seat back to the people's house in D.C.
All right. So I just want to tell everybody, because we're about to shut down for the lunch hour. I know everybody has to go back, but tonight at 8 p.m., we're going to come back on and discuss the same subject because there's so much interest in it. DJ, hopefully you can come back too and we discuss this. So just so you guys know, tonight at 8 p.m., we're going to pick up this subject and also add a lot more to it. So please tune in tonight. We're going to cover this very well. You could go back, Genesis.
Okay.
I'm here to tell you the time is up for playing in our faces. The Democrats are not going to stand for this any longer. We know that we are standing for the people. And so long as we stand for the people, I absolutely believe the people are going to stand for us. So I just want to be clear. Do whatever you can to support these heroes because they are the ones that had to leave their families. They are the ones that have warrants out for their arrest. They are the ones that are doing things that, honestly, a lot of other people do not have the audacity to do. So make sure when you talk about them, press, put some respect on their names. I appreciate y'all.
All right. So thank you very much for sharing these videos and bringing this subject. It's nice to have. We have one of the leading reporters out there, DJ Genesis. She's not only a great reporter, but she's also a producer. So we value her very much and we appreciate her to the fullest. Tonight at 8 o'clock, folks, we're going to come back. I know a lot of people have to get back to work. I know you want to continue with this subject matter, so we're going to be back on. But thank you all for your comments. I'm going to go through a few more. First of all, Genesis, is there something you'd like to say before we close out?
Well, I just think it's interesting. If you look at the board, you look at the people that are being redistricted, they all have a thing in common, and they are people of color. So I don't think that this is something that is done by chance or just by, not to like make it a racial issue, but I just think it's interesting to do that, and then the fact that they're mostly Democrats. Why is it that they chose to redistrict mainly the Democratic thing? We know that this is a thing, a ploy, right? So we can't be so focused in on Republican and Democrat that we're not seeing the play here, so I think people need to look further into it, look deeper into it. When we come back, please feel free to come up, give more information. I'm still learning about it. Like I said, I just found out about it this morning, and I saw that Mel was live, and I said, let me bring this to the table because this is going to be a real serious thing when it really comes down to Texas, in the future, because it could even just reshape even how Texas is ran, because those certain districts, they might be in the hood, I think that certain areas might be, mostly Black areas.
Okay, very good.
So
Thank you for the input.
Black or Hispanic, and they voted the people according to what, so that's the part that I just want to make it known, and not to make it into a racial thing, but just understand that so when you have a person that's put in a Republican and you didn't vote them, and now you're outnumbered, how do you know that your issues are going to be addressed? That's the part that I find.
Okay, very good. FJB says, name Republican president that ruined America. Okay, Mashona says the Dems want to have it both ways. We ain't going for that here in Texas. Okay, Mashona. Mashona's in Texas too. Reese says the far left is so insane they need to be asylum. Okay. M. Pep and Pep says, look at the lines of Jasmine Crockett District. It's ridiculous. Do you agree with that, Genesis? You know more about Crockett than we do.
Yeah, they said it looks like an octopus.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay.
kind of crazy, yeah.
Are the people happy with her?
I think people in Texas are, but I guess there's some people that aren't, but I think that more is because of her the way that she is, not necessarily what she's doing, but people don't like her attitude, the way that she's outspoken. I don't think it's about because she's not doing anything, because she does plenty. So I don't really get why. I think it's more of a personality people don't like.
Okay. Gear Jammer says, praise Donald Trump. Okay. Joshua Tiff says, arrest them all. If you don't do your job, you should be arrested. Good point. M. Pep and Pep says they need to just draw squares on the map and let those lines stay there. Okay. Nick Nack 70 says our leaders need to be spotless, and we are seeing severely stained politicians. Human trafficking should have been number one on all the nation's lists. Very bothered about our nation and the lack of concern. Thank you, Nick Nack. We appreciate that. That's a good comment. M. Pep and Pep says Jasmine Crockett District looks like an octopus. Okay, very good. Reverend Green is back. Reverend Green, we'd like to have you come back up at some point. Thank you. And thanks for trying to participate last night. I appreciate that as well. Let's see. Reverend Green says feds are printout of warrants by Wednesday and arrest Thursday. Okay. Mashona says, welcome in and thank you for joining. We want to hear from you and just ask that you be respectful of each other and watch your language in the chat and respect YouTube policies. Folks, we have a good thing. We want to keep it that way. So please do that. And thank you, Mashona, for those reminders. She also says the opinions expressed in the chat are that of the person expressing them and do not reflect the views of the host. Thanks for joining, and we welcome you in, folks. Madonna Kettler says, walk off the job, lose your job. That's a good thought.
Well, that's what someone says. The Republicans did the same thing in 2023.
Oh, we'll have to fact check that. Is that what they did? Wow. So they have no room to talk if that's what happened, but I guess we could dig into that
also
tonight.
Republicans ended the last House session early to avoid voting on Epstein. That was to live.
Right, that happened just almost 2 weeks ago, right?
Right. Did they issue warrants for their arrest?
But again, though, they have the power right now, so that's the difference. And also, when you have Donald Trump backing you, that's a lot of backing, I must say. Mike Jordan says, do those bastards ever tell the truth? Okay. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for participating. Thank you guys for all the likes, shares, and subscribing. I really do appreciate that. Also, DJ Genesis, support her channel. DJ, tell them really quick where to find you.
Yes, if you go to DJ Genesis Detroit on YouTube, you'll be able to find my channel. And, I'm also the producer of the weekly legal review with Mel and Calvin. And my channel discusses various different issues when it comes down to politics, religion, and relationships, spirituality. So it's a pretty broad channel. So if you just want to get like different interviews, things talking about different things, definitely come to my channel and check it out.
Okay, Reverend Green, let's make a point of adding this to the discussion tonight, Genesis. Reverend Green says, nobody finna mention the Cincinnati brawl for a couple weeks. I want to go over that. There seems to be a lot of interest when it comes to that brawl, and I haven't covered it. So
Yeah, I covered it on my channel a couple days ago, and
all right,
I
so
kind of really heated. So yeah,
yeah,
that's
let's cover it tonight. Let's have at it, guys. We have to be respectful. We have to act civilized tonight, not get too crazy. We know we have MAGA here. We also have a lot of Democrats, and we're looking for some Elon Musk American Party. I haven't found one yet. If you've joined the party, I'd like to talk to you and see what made you jump over. Joshua Tiff says they get too much time off anyways. Okay. She said they only get $7,000. That's a low budget. FJB says it's stealing from the constituents. Okay. Joseph, and thank you, FJB, for your continued comments. Joseph Groman says metal yellow first red. Not sure what that means. That might be a bot. I'm not sure. Joshua Tiff says, who with a regular full-time job gets all the time off and still gets paid? True that. Thank you, Joshua. Robert Brooks says, let them all go to jail. He says, lock them up, lock them up. Bordo says, hey, Gear Jammer. And Latrell, yes, we appreciate both of them quite well. FJB says, dereliction of their duty. That's what we call it, folks. Pep and Pep says, it's political theater, and they all get to party and still get paid. What a shame. Kay Hillman says, Republicans trying to cheat the system again. Go Dems. All right, we have a lot of Democrats in the building as well. Leo, everyone say send them to jail is missing the point they're making. Okay, so good. Good argument, Leo. We would like to have you express more about that either now or you could do so tonight at 8. I would love to have some of you guys come up and let's talk about it. 8 o'clock tonight sharp. I'm going to kick off and I'll have DJ Genesis here. And we'd like to hear from the audience. Please come up. Good announcement. I have a new system coming where you'll be able to call in. I know a lot of people don't like to come on the camera or it's too complicated. You'll be able to call the number and give your expressions. Not sure if I'll have it together by tonight, but I'm going to try very hard, folks. I definitely will. Joshua Tip, that's because I appreciate you guys. Please know that, number one. Joshua says, good, arrest her then. Okay, so you're talking about Jasmine. Okay, must have been so hypocritical, right? Okay, Joshua Tip says, by the people of your district, not the people in Chicago lady. Okay, all right. All right, very good. But we're going to take a few more comments and then we'll bring it back on tonight, folks. Burn Sir says she just said that the people she serves should leave Texas. Wow. Okay, thank you, Burn. Nice to have you here. Foggy Osis says arrest them all and Obama will have to return the baby oil since his boy Diddy isn't getting out. Oh, man. What a shame. Okay. Joseph says those are some emojis. Stephen Drove, welcome back. You people making nasty comments are the ones that are part of the problem. Amen. Preach. Tell them about it, Stephen. Tell them to knock it off. Stella Dreller says, how about stop all the fighting and do your work? Okay, so we have a lot of people here saying knock it off, get along, love each other. All right, we're making some progress on this channel now. Last week everybody wanted to fight. This week people are talking about love. FGB says dumbest statement ever. Okay, we just took 2 steps back, but we're gonna pull it back together, folks. Madonna says happens in all jobs. You walk off your job, you lose your job. That's a good concept, really true. Joseph says we need to get all of them illegals off the count and our census as well. Okay, all right. And Foggy also says they definitely should be arrested. So a lot of people feel like they should be arrested, folks. That's what the general consensus is for the chat today, is for everyone who left should be arrested. We're going to get into it deeper tonight, folks. So come back tonight at 8 o'clock. We're going to have a greater discussion, and we're going to really dig into it, have a in-depth conversation with DJ Genesis. And we also want to thank her. Please support her channel. Go give her a like on her videos. Those likes mean so much, especially on the regular videos. We get so many people for the live chats, but don't forget about those shorts. We have quite a few coming out today as well, folks. So thank you for this hour has been great. We talked about Sean Diddy Combs. He got locked up and they won't let him out. We don't know why. Well, we do know why. The judge says it's because he's a violent man. But let's see what happens in October the 3rd. I'll definitely be in court again. And I'll be covering it. And I'll come out and tell you guys exactly what I thought I heard in court, so you can come to your own conclusion about what's happening with that case. But every day we cover Donald Trump, Epstein, whatever important news that's trending out there. And we look forward to having more people participate. We also have once we hit, I think, 20,000 subscribers, we're going to create a small community where throughout the day you can post just like you do on Facebook and so forth, and keep in contact, because I do realize sometimes when I do not go live every day, people will mention, hey Mel, can you at least go live so I can talk to my friends? So we're going to create a solid platform where you can communicate, but let's do so and do so with the spirit of love and not just hatred business, and not calling names, and try to be respectful when it comes to the channel, because the other day someone came on and showed nudity. What a sorry individual. Very sorry. Sorry. So thank you guys. I'll see you tonight at 8. I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and make it a great day until we reconvene again tonight. Thank you so much. And thank you to the moderators. You guys are amazing. I know what you do is wonderful, and it takes a lot to do it, but I do have something great coming your way, and I'll make an announcement about that today. So check in with the community page where we leave you updates, because I have something sweet coming for the moderators. So stay tuned. And again, I like to show my appreciation for all you do. And we just want to get along and do the right thing, folks. So I'll catch you later.
Different voices, but the same song. Building a world where we all belong. Kindness leading the way, breaking the chains. In the symphony of love, the thing remains. Embracing diversity, brighter days in sight. Watching the world share in love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. Colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might. Watching the world sharing love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. The colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might. Oh, 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 oh.